Well, it's that time again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the interview with Craig-Veltri.
Thank you, Megan Pennington, and welcome to the interview. Returning to the program is a Pittsburgh lawyer who, true to the city's football identity, continues to blitz the local scene with a staggering amount of presence in weekly shows and original releases. Since June 2025, when she released her debut album, The Color in Black, she has since released two songs for a project called Aurora Fire. The singles Bring the Noise and Liminal Decisions, the latter of which we will play at the end of this episode, is a decidedly darker and heavier soundscape, even for somebody who called their first album The Color in Black. Borderline metal and certainly grungy, it takes the same angst and reflection she employed on that record, but quickens the backbeat and cranks this tension up along with the volume. Recording in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and calling in from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, here she is, Shelley Duff, Esquire. Shelley, welcome to the interview.
Hi, good to be here again.
So glad to be here again, and so quickly. So before we get to the what and who Aurora Fire is, let's get to the why of it. Why did you see it necessary to put out a record under a different name for these songs? Why did you feel you needed the separation?
Well, a couple reasons. So I listen to a lot of different music, and I think a lot of musicians listen to a lot of different things. And I also perform a lot of shows in Pittsburgh under my own name, Shelley Duff, and I'm playing, venues that are wineries, breweries, country clubs, things like that. So, kind of a twofold thing. Like I wanted to record in styles that I like. I listen to real heavy stuff, and
Yeah.
I also didn't want that to confuse people when I'm playing their country club and then they hear, some heavy dark song.
All
So
of a
that was
sudden,
kind of
Alice in Chains comes out, and it's like, what the hell?
right. Like, what is this? And my EP was a certain direction, a little bit different. And I want to do both things. So I created Aurora Fire to kind of be that outlet for heavier. It's even going to get even heavier like this year, just that aspect of like the kind of stuff that I want to write. But I'm also doing my solo stuff as well, which is what like my EP was. So two different directions, two different projects to really like fulfill that need in me of what I like to write. So because it was so different, I didn't want to just have me and then people hear one style of song and then they're like, what the heck is this? So I created Aurora Fire, brought in some different musicians that I was working with for that, and just really kind of going like a heavier direction with it. Does that make
Is
sense? I don't know if that makes sense or
Oh,
not. I hope it
it
does.
makes perfect sense.
Okay.
I know of a lot of artists that felt it necessary to differentiate, and I know there are many, but I can't really think of any that decided to completely. I mean, the obvious one would be Garth Brooks actually changed his entire persona to release mid to late '90s VH1 pop, basically.
Chris
So
Gaines. Was that Chris
Chris
Gaines?
Gaines,
That was
yes,
good. I know he got like so much criticism for that, but like that was good.
yeah.
I feel like this is more like me solo and then me in a band. So, it's like the solo stuff is like me, but then also like the band is Aurora Fire. The guys in Aurora Fire, that's more of like a band type of situation versus like a solo artist. So like Garth Brooks joins Alice in Chains.
Mm. Well, I mean, it sounds more like Shelley Duff joined Alice in Chains because again, vocally and lyrically, I mean, bring the noise. That's definitely let's knock down, have fun, storm in the castle kind of stuff. But with liminal decisions, I mean. It's a lot of the same self-searching and trying to find the what does it all mean, liminal meaning. Because let me ask you this as far as the title is concerned on that one. I've seen it as apostrophe liminal, and I've seen it on streaming as liminal, which is actually a word that means kind of being in the in between, sort of,
Yeah.
sort of. So, is it subliminal or is it a liminal decision?
So it's liminal
It is
decision.
liminal.
And the reason and how that song kind of came about is because my job, as you introduced me, as a lawyer. And I wanted the writing for Aurora Fire is more of like maybe some darker themes that I see. Bring the Noise is kind of like getting ready for battle or like fighting. That was kind of like the thought behind Bring the Noise. Liminal decision is like I am fascinated by those moments that I see people come into court where like they had a life that went this way and then they make a choice and then their life goes completely haywire or off course. And like the moment before that person did that thing, like that's that liminal decision. Like you pull that gun out and pull the trigger. And I'm fascinated by those moments of, and I've seen it, like the person's life and then their life. And I'm like, man, like what if they just would have made a different choice? Or what if they would have done this? Or what if they would have left 5 minutes earlier or not gotten behind the wheel and all that stuff? How different their life would be. So that's like the thought behind that, like that liminal decision and just kind of dealing with that topic in that song.
The moment before the moment of was it let me put it again. The moment before it was that moment so and so messed up. So um now Aurora Fire, as a name for it, why did you choose the name?
I love anything involving like celestial things, and I am a
Aurora
Leo.
Borealis.
Aurora Borealis, anything stars. Like I wanted it to be something that was like a love of mine, something personal, something that I love. And then fire for me, like I'm a Leo, I'm a fire sign. I love like fire, not arson type of fire, but you know what I mean? Like the
Or in a
burn
butthead
it
kind of way.
down kind
Sure.
of so that's two word I put like two words together that I liked.
Okay. Yeah, it also as a search, it also brings up a lot of fire departments as well. I gotta
I
mention
know
that,
I saw that too.
but
So when I was doing YouTube and I picking the names, there's an Aurora Fire Department. I was like, well, as terms of like trademarking, it has to be substantially similar or confusing. I'm like, I don't think that's going to be too confusing with the fire department. It's funny that you noticed that though, because it's funny.
well, we're here with Shelley Duff of Aurora Fire here on the Craig-veltri interview, proud member of the Scarfire Media Podcast Network. For more on the Scarfire Media Podcast Network and Scarfire Media in total, check us out on all of our social media. Keep an eye out for Mommy Rockstar with Megan Pennington coming up soon, the mothership, as I like to call it, Fire Pit, the Cool Brother Podcast. And of course, thank you for listening to the Craig-veltri interview. You mentioned some different personnel, and I noticed that Craig Arlett, who's your frequent collaborator, is as a duo partner out in the area and is a static member of the Shelley Duff band as well, is a constant over to Aurora Fire. Let me just ask about his just overall contribution to your music all overall. What keeps you hiring him or keeps him
Well,
around?
he's become like such a great friend of mine, and he knows the kind of stuff that I like, just from working with him. So how he came about, I was in a band with a bunch of people, and I was playing solo shows, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna start like bringing these guys from the band in and doing some shows with them. So I brought in like saxophone player, a percussionist. We were just kind of like having some fun, and I was like so reluctant. So Craig Arlett is Izzy. So I was very like reluctant to bring Izzy because I'm like, man, like two people playing guitar, and I see that I'm like, I want something that's going to kind of balance some things out. But I was like, hey, Izzy, why don't you do one of the shows with me? And I'm like, oh, I'll give it a try. And he nailed it. Like he crushed it. And it wasn't like playing the same things I was playing. He added to what I was doing. He started playing solos, the riffs, like bringing everything in, singing harmony as well. So like that show, we got so much like positive reaction from it. And I was like, there we go. We have a duo now. And I do play like with, percussionists and other people as well, but he's normally the duo for me. And in the EP, I brought him into the studio to record my Shelley Duff EP, playing guitar. There was another guitar player as well, Mike Pallone, and Izzy did the guitars for that. And afterwards, when we start talking about Aurora Fire, like Izzy knows that I like heavier type of music. And we started talking about like collaborating together to for him to kind of take in the role of producing and not just playing the guitar. So he basically like produced the tunes and worked with me in getting the sound, and we went to the studio and recorded. So he's just become a great friend and a really amazing like songwriter, producer, very talented. Just kind of gets like what I want the songs to sound like and helps me develop the sound of it. Does that I'm hoping that that makes sense.
No,
I'm just
no, no. That you're talking to somebody who's I mean, I named my band the Vagabonds because there's been a lot of guys and gals in and out of that band. So I totally understand trying to find people who not only can do what you want, but can understand it in the communication thereof, and be diverse enough in from their musical range. Which brings me to this: you mentioned that you switched in and out of a couple of different people to bring the Aurora Fire sound into play. Who did you switch out, and for what did they bring that they wouldn't have been able to bring in, or maybe you just didn't feel that they couldn't bring to the Shelley Duff band to
it
Aurora
it
Fire?
wasn't that the EP musicians couldn't bring it. It wasn't that at all. Like those are amazing, incredible musicians. I was just looking for like a different sound. So, like we had Mike Ickes, he played on both records. He was the bass player for both records. We had Ross Antonich did drums for Aurora Fire. Bobby Kunkel was on my EP. Like we're talking amazing studio musicians, like, just great. But we just brought in different people. So Izzy played guitar, and then Paul Cunningham was a new addition. I met him through Izzy, and he did all of like the cool, like synthy sounds, all of the keys, like Bring the Noise has this, like I felt like we were like calling aliens with the noises that we were creating, like in the song when we were in there. I was like, oh, I love this. Like I love all these like creepy noises and things that sound like, you know,
Things that
I
go bump in the night, sort of thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was Paul Cunningham, who is like a synth expert, like every type of sound. He has some new synth that he was bringing in to do all the new different sounds. And so it was super fun to like work with him and like hear what he was coming up with. And I'm like, oh, I love it.
So,
Yeah.
as far as the releasing, as we alluded to, there are two singles out for Aurora Fire. Obviously there is more to come, but why has there been kind of that stagger in single release? Is this a precursor to a record, a full length record, or is this just what you're able to get the guys in and you're able to put out?
In all honesty, like I have been doing a lot. Last year, 2025 was the first time I was putting out original music in today's world with Spotify, Apple Music, everything else. And I did it all at once as an EP. And as I have learned through the process that the algorithm tends to like releases every 6 to 8 weeks
Hmm.
and not all at once as like a full album, unless you're somebody like a Taylor Swift or somebody who's going to release an album and everybody's going to listen to all the songs.
Mhm.
So the algorithm of Spotify adding you to, when you're done, like, hey, if you like this person, we're going to put this song after that, and just getting more plays. I mean, this has been an incredible learning experience for me with this. So the thought behind Aurora Fire was let's stagger the songs. So we have another one that's kind of in the works. It was going to be recorded. It just my things got crazy like in my life, like over the winter and with the holidays. So that's going to be happening in the next few months. So I'm not quite hitting that 6 to 8 week time frame that I wanted to. But next year I'm going to start doing that. And I also want to start doing, Shelley Duff songs as well. But I think in today's modern world, people want singles and not albums, unless you are, a record label artist that's going to be releasing your album. So
So is
that's
that so is that to say you're taking the same release schedule to Shelley Duff music as well, 6 to 8 weeks?
I think so. Once I start, writing and recording that as well, then it's going to be the same type of thing, releasing singles.
So that's it's not a matter of if, but when. What's on the horizon for the Shelley Duff band aspect of things?
That's probably going to be more summer. I have some stuff going on like in my personal life that I'm just nothing bad, like all good stuff, but just a lot of like
We've
changes in my
talked. I can assure the good people
life.
that's the case. So
Yeah, so good, all good stuff, like really good stuff, but just very time consuming things as well. And I have a job. So I got to pick one or the other here, and I'm going to do Aurora Fire, kind of get some of that going, and then continue to write. Like I'm always coming up with ideas for songs. I'm always singing melodies in my head. So it's going to be nonstop now for the rest of my life, hopefully, that I'm going to be doing and creating original music. And even with the advent of like AI and all the stuff that you're hearing about that, like I want to release my music authentically with musicians and humans and not go that route, even though it's becoming more prominent.
this begs the following question. As much time as you're putting out as far as doing live shows, you're doing about 4 to 5 shows a week, some weeks, sometimes more. You've been on a very consistent release schedule, and yet you do manage to keep this day job as a lawyer. I won't say how long you've been doing that. We covered it in the last episode. I encourage people to go back to talk about all of that. But for all the work that you're putting into your music, do you foresee a moment in the coming months, years, that you could potentially be dialing back your legal career and focusing more on your music career?
I don't know. I've thought about it. I never really wanted to make music where I had to do it,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. And I wanted to have it like, and I've thought about it and thought about like, I wonder if I could just do music and, kind of cut back on things and slow things down. But no, I haven't been able to figure that out yet. And, as we know, when you're at a certain level of music and as a musician, it's not lucrative. And it's getting harder and harder as things change in the music industry. So I never wanted to put that pressure of myself that like I need these gigs to pay my bills because I think that takes a lot of fun out of it and stress will take a lot of creativity away from you as well. So I did not want to put that pressure on music. I always wanted to keep music something I did for fun and something that was like my creative outlet. Now, it has turned into a job. When I'm doing 5 days a week on top of a job, trust me, people are like, I'm tired. Don't get me wrong, but I still love it. And the minute that I start playing, I'm like, I love this. Like, I love it. So,
Yeah.
that is to me, and you hear these people saying, well, like, you can't ride two horses with one ass, like you gotta make a decision, right? And I'm like, have I been doing that? Maybe I have been, but I feel like it works. It works. I mean, I could pay for my album, I could pay for studio time, I could pay my musicians. I don't have that pressure on that. So I don't know if I want to just do full-time music unless I'm in a position where the money situation with the music is different. And I think you understand exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm of a very unique set at this setup at this moment. That yeah, it is the full time thing, but it also comes from a very good financial setting. I'm my debt's in the four figures now, so that is manageable. I found that I even in a turbulent and almost bars closing and venues closing here and there, I've managed to get up with people who are usually pretty very reliable. I know their response habits, and I've been able to relay that into it's hitting quota. It's hitting a quota. So as long as I'm hitting that quota every month, I'm not starving. So the fun is always in there. The stress, it's a lot of jujitsu with a lot of what goes on with me. They say that selfishness is a bad thing. Well, not if you redirect it properly. Same with stress. Stress is a good thing. It's just a matter of how you direct it, I think.
Yeah.
And it can make some pretty really killer songs. So as far as you're performing going forward, and performing live with Aurora Fire. So is that to say that you are now submitting stuff to like festivals and other stuff like that? One gets Aurora. Are you double submitting now? Are you going?
No, not yet. I don't think Aurora Fire has enough songs right now to fulfill a set, but the stuff for Shelley Duff, the solo stuff does. So that's a goal moving forward is doing, the solo performances. Like I have a show I'm playing in Lawrenceville in March that's going to be all original stuff and it's an hour. So, I'm not playing 3 hours of original stuff. So Aurora Fire is a future goal to do, like a metal festival or something like that is a goal. I would love that. That's something that I want to put out there as a goal, but I'm not ready for that yet as far as the music goes. I definitely need more songs.
No. Well, all you guys. I mean, if the sample size that we've gotten is going to continue to bear fruit like that, I think we can patiently await all of that. Well, Shelley, we do have a nice way of closing here on the Craig-Veltri interview. It is called the No Kidding Questionnaire, but since you are a returning guest, it is the No Kidding Questionnaire 2.0. So same rapid fire, but a different set of questions, starting with what sound or noise do you love?
Say that again.
What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, what sound or noise do I love? Thunder.
Hmm. This checks, but why do you like it so much?
Um, it's got that energy, kind of spooky a little bit scary. It's nature. Um, yeah, just kind of like the feeling that you get when you hear thunder. Like we all know you're like, "Oh, yeah, like just I
The
don't know if I
relief,
can explain that.
the relief after it shakes the walls,
Yeah.
it has its exhilaration for sure. What sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, people are gonna be mad at me for saying this, but like I hate any type of like little kids screaming or kind of like and I know people have kids, they're screaming, I get it, but like I don't I don't like it.
I have no children myself, so I will sit on this side as well. It's like it's almost like bringing your kid, your pets. If you know they can't act right in public, don't bring them in public until they can, please. So
Oh, we could have a whole conversation about the shows with the kids running at, going through your stuff and yeah, but anyway.
oh yeah, and I was the kid that ran up to the altar in church for no apparent reason. So trust me, I it took a while, but
Oh,
I
I know it
learned to act
happens.
right.
You listen, I know it happens, but yeah.
Moving on with the questionnaire. What is the one song that you are not yet tired of playing, singing, or listening to?
My song, The Color in Black, I love playing and singing that. I don't know if I listen to it a lot, as far as that goes. Stuff that I enjoyed listening to. Um, I really like the song. Like I just kind of started like going back and listening to Uninvited by Alanis Morissette. That's like the first song
Mm.
that kind of popped in my mind when you were saying that. Like I just love the vibe of that song. Like that's such like kind of going that whole Aurora Fire. That just has a really interesting atmosphere to that song. So I never get tired of it.
It is I love songs that aren't just as simple as I love you and I want you and I love you then I lost you and I love you then I got you. There is that lovely liminal area, if you
Yeah.
prefer. That's kind of like yeah, maybe not. So I can't make you love me is kind of another kind of one that kind of fades into that area. If reincarnation is real, what animal or organism do you hope to come back as?
Ooh, that's a good one. Um, I love birds. It'd be cool to be a bird, to be able to fly. And maybe a horse, because I love horses. I have a horse. Just an amazing animal, very intuitive. I feel like their freedom.
Mm. Yeah, and both are so. People think horses, and there is that differentiation of of stallions to Clydesdales and stuff like that. But uh, Birds have a lot more variation. So what kind of bird would you see yourself as?
I would be like a little like a cardinal, or I would not be like a hawk. I would be something that ate like the seeds and not like animals. So I would be my favorite bird, what I think is the cutest bird ever is called a tufted titmouse. Are you a bird person? You
I've
would
been
just
to the aviary a couple
Okay,
times. So.
just Google tufted titmouse. It is the cutest little thing. It looks like a little like fairy bird and it's super like quick. So I would be a little tufted titmouse.
And its cousin the booby, but I couldn't.
I don't know where the name came from. The name is strange, but it's a really cute little bird.
Well, you talked about your diet as a cardinal. What is your favorite food to make at home?
Oh, I'm a terrible cook, like a terrible cook. So I don't really make a lot of things at home. Like I could eat cereal like 3 meals a day. So
Hey, Jerry.
that's a bad like I'm not, and I try like I'm like I'm gonna make this recipe and I see the picture, I put the stuff together and it never tastes good. Like I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So it has to be something simple. It would be like pasta or cereal. I'm not a foodie.
the
I'm usually eating something
I
running
mean
out the door.
hey, a lawyer's schedule and musician's schedule that pretty much is like telling me you don't cook without telling me you don't cook. So
Yeah.
makes sense. What is your favorite curse word?
Oh, curse word. I mean, my favorite one, I don't know. I feel like the F word is, potent when you want when if you don't overuse it and you say it, and people are like, oh. But that's an interesting question. Maybe damn. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, in the to quote the movie The Boondock Saints, it certainly is very versatile for sure. Last question of this questionnaire. If you were given the choice between starting life with your current knowledge again at the age of 6 or $10 million, which would you take?
So you mean $10 million now?
Hmm.
Or starting what I know at the age of 6?
Hmm.
I would start with what I know at the age of 6
Why is that?
because you can make choices that might lead to more than $10 million at some point. But just knowing what you know now, not making those same mistakes or choices. I don't think anything is a mistake. I think you learn and you're on your journey and everything is a learning experience. But it would be cool to like I look back on my life, I'm like, oh my God, what the heck was I thinking back then? So I think being 6, having the knowledge that I have now would be a great way to start. That's a good question. I like that.
I'm liking asking that one too. Well, Shelley, it is the part of the show. You know this part of the show, and every guest should enjoy it the most. It is time for shameless self promotion. You've got dates all the way up until I think 2030 in Pittsburgh and surrounding areas. Where can we find your dates and where can we find you? Fire away.
My website is shelleyduff.com. So Shelley is spelled SHELLEYDUFF.com. And then I'm on Facebook at Shelley.Duff or Shelley Duff Music and Instagram, Shelley Duff, TikTok. And I started a Shelley Duff acoustic as well. Aurora Fire is on as Aurora Fire Music. So you can find that on all socials as well.
Why'd you start the acoustic one? That's are
For
you doing?
Shelley Duff.
Yeah, or is it just for the shows, or are you putting out online content just
I'm
acoustic?
doing like, because I'm doing covers on that page. So that way, if somebody wants to hear, you know what, I'm going to play a Britney Spears cover or something, they can go on there and hear it. And then my Shelley Duff Instagram is kind of like my personal one, like I'm doing the stories and posting my shows where I'm playing there and then talking about like the original stuff that's coming out on that page.
Hmm.
I just felt like I needed to kind of break it up a little bit because I didn't want to confuse people again with like, oh, wait a minute. This is a song that's an original. I thought she did covers, so I just created Shelley Duff Acoustic.
Well, all of the things that I have heard out of you, you do incredibly well, and I think I speak for the audience listening that it's been wonderful seeing what you have risen to in such a short amount of time, and I know the best is yet to come. I can't wait to see it. So,
Thank you for
Shelley,
saying that. That really means a lot to me.
and thank you, Shelley, for joining us tonight on the Craig-Veltri interview.
Thank you.
The Craig-Veltri interview, where Craig-Veltri interviews wonderful people, is a production of Scarfire Media, the voice of the independent artist. Written and edited by Craig-Veltri. Your announcer is Megan Pennington. The opening theme, Shut Up I Love You, written by Trenton Chandler and Craig-Veltri, performed by Craig-Veltri, produced by Jack Gavin. The Moonshine Vagabonds roll into Nashville this coming weekend to finish off the album Inside the Cabin. We are on schedule to release the single Inside the Cabin on February 13th. This was just scheduled today. Megan and I will be on the Jagoff podcast recording it on February the 13th. We are looking forward to talking to John and Rachel for the first time together as Moonshine Vagabonds, first time together as a duo. We are very excited about that. And hopefully that same evening, we will be able to announce that we will be doing a release party or release sort of show to commemorate the release of Inside the Cabin, the single, on February 13th. But before that, we got some more dates to clear. Time now to update the event calendar because you must know where I am at all times. Friday, January 9th, Craig-Veltri and the Vagabonds at Tin Roof Memphis from 7 to 10. Saturday, Tin Roof Memphis, Craig-Veltri, Sans Vagabonds from 3 to 6:30. For full dates, including Pittsburgh, Canton, Ohio, Nashville, Memphis, and Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, just added today, visit my website, craig-veltri.bandzoogle.com for booking info, including full band and this podcast. Email me at craig-veltri-official@gmail.com. You can find the interview on Facebook by searching the Craig-Veltri interview, YouTube at Craig-Veltri Music, and you can find me on Instagram, or as my old roommate, the Tommy Thomas, used to call it, Instagirl at craig.veltri. For Shelley Duff, I'm Craig-Veltri, and this has been the Craig-Veltri interview. With that, I'll pass. Here is Aurora Fire with Liminal Decision on the Craig-Veltri interview, proud member of the Scarfire Media Podcast Network.
This moment